Welcome back to Marketing Table Talk. I am Lisa Perry, your host, a fractional chief marketing officer with Captivating Solutions Group. Today, we are going to talk about the future of the marketing department. But before we do, jot down your name and where you're from. And if you have any questions, comments, or thoughts along the way, put that in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. Before we get started, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I am the founder of Captivating Solutions Group, a global marketing executive specializing in strategic solutions for market transformation. I'm an expert in marketing strategy, digital marketing, and remote team management. I foster win-win outcomes for entrepreneurs and their teams, and I'm an author of a book, Step-by-Step Guide on how to develop a brand strategy. And I am a strong advocate for personal development, family, and work-life balance. But let's get into the meat of this. Back in 2022, I walked into a 100 million plus company that was going through a marketing crisis. The marketing team was spending over 3 million annually, and they had a stack of talent. It was a classic example setup of over 13 specialists. They had a project manager, a social media manager, a media manager, marketing analyst, web analyst, graphic designer, content writer. They had it all, over 20 people in the marketing department. And despite all this talent, they were struggling to hit their marketing objectives. People were in rigid roles, and there was a lack of cross collaboration and support. As a result, the company was spending a lot to acquire their customers, but was struggling to convert the leads. 6 months later, I transformed the team, hitting quarterly targets. Yet, the marketing was beginning to shift. With the release of ChatGPT, we saw our first major shift in AI for most marketers. And almost overnight, we saw the demise of content writers. You could, with a good prompt, you could write content in a matter of minutes versus what was taking days for them. And that's when I realized that the traditional marketing department was changing, and we needed to get really clear on what was going to happen. Marketing is in its 6th major disruption cycle. And so my question to you is, will your company capitalize on it first, or will your competitors? So what are these disruptions? Well, in the 20s, we had mass media, radio advertising, and the emergence of market research. Then there was television advertising, creative revolution, and the rise of brand management. We saw brands become long-term brands in the 50s. And then in the 80s, there was direct marketing, niche markets on cable, and the introduction of the internet. In 2000, we saw digital marketing with SEO, and why that was important was we could finally attack consumers who had buying intent, getting our product and service in front of them. We saw the rise of social media and mobile marketing, and we could reach people not just at their TVs at home, but in their pockets wherever they were. Content marketing, programmatic advertising, and the focus on customer experience was in the 2010s. And right now, we're in the throes of AI, automation, personalization, and sustainability-driven marketing. And sustainability-driven marketing is where people want to know that their buying behavior and the company that they either work with or they're buying from is aligned with their philosophy, their ethics, and their values. Today, the marketing landscape is being transformed by voice agents and AI-powered assistants, which are reshaping how consumers search, shop, and interact with brands. The shift requires marketers to optimize voice search, develop conversational experiences, and prioritize seamless integrations with smart devices in order to stay relevant in a world moving towards hassle-free, frictionless engagement. So what does that look like? We're going to see things start to happen pretty quickly in the beginning of next year. We're going to see voice agents that are, going to be taking notes. They're going to be butting into conversations. They're going to be redirecting people. They're going to be in multiple meetings throughout companies, relaying critical information across those meetings all at the same time. Voice agents are going to be working 24/7. And by mid next year, they're going to be like typing on a keyboard. We just saw Claude release a computer agent typing on a keyboard and filling out forms. Can you just imagine the marketing department being offset by these types of AI agents? We know that AI writes good content. Now, we may need to come in and review it before it gets posted, but that's the future that we are moving towards. So today, I'll share with you how an AI-augmented marketing department led by a fractional CMO is not just a good choice for your business, but the only logical choice given where the market is inevitably heading. I wanted to share with you something that I saw on X, formerly Twitter, and this is not an isolated case. John Rush just replaced his entire marketing and sales department with AI. And this is a post that he posted on about this. He's leveraging AI agents, workflows, and automation to streamline his entire operations and reduce costs. The chart here is an Indeed chart, and it shows month over month job postings in the US for software development. And you can see it's plummeting. It's pretty wild. And John Rush here, his goal for 2025 is to replace 90% of his support and operations with AI. And as I said, this is not an isolated case. Looking at job trends, took a look at US postings in the marketing sector. And this shows marketing jobs have been declining since 2022. And as companies start to optimize with AI tools, these traditional roles are declining. It's important to know that AI is not going to replace strategy and leadership. Future-ready marketing departments are going to combine these lean teams with smart AI investment tools. So let's take a look at the old versus the future-ready marketing department. On the left side, we're going to take a look at all the money in the marketing department and where it gets allocated. This is a traditional marketing department. We see the CMO, the director of marketing, the social lead, the graphic designer, the copywriter. And then there's not a lot of money left over for advertising. Now, on the right, this is the model that I want to talk about today, where there's a fractional CMO, and then there's these in-house marketing technicians that are supporting you. And then you could spend more money acquiring the customer. Remember, the company that can afford to spend the most to acquire a customer wins. Now, it's a little counterintuitive, but if you can spend $1,000 to acquire a customer and still be profitable, and your competitor can only spend $500, well, then you buy up all the customers and they go out of business. So let's talk about if you have any of these beliefs. And put a thumbs up out there if you have any of these beliefs. I'd like to hear that, if these resonate with any of you. All right. The first one is you need a specialist for every channel. All right. And before I answer this, I want to pop up a question that I got from Michael Willis here. Is how do you foresee AI reshaping the traditional marketing team structure in the next 5 years? And I'm going to answer that with this question here. You need a specialist for every channel. What is a specialist? So let's first talk about that. A specialist is somebody that is really good at one thing. So social media buying, they're really good at that. And, there's certainly the belief that folks have out there, and they've had it for a long time. I've had it up until recently. Um, I've had this belief. But what we're seeing happening with media buying and advertising online is the trust in the algorithm, the machine learning more and more. Facebook is saying, give me a good creative, give me a pixel that fires when someone does the thing that you want them to do, and give me a budget. I'll make your dreams come true, right? I mean, advertisers aren't going to like that, but we used to have somebody that would buy. They would take a look at the target audience. They would then look at their buying behavior, the psychographics, the demographics, the buying intent, making sure the messaging got to the right person. Now that's all automated. It's all automated. As ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, all of those AI tools have grown, we've seen copywriters have to produce more for the same cost. They used to be producing, say, 2 to 4 emails a week. Now they're having to produce 15, 20, 25 emails in a week. And it's because business owners are demanding that they use AI to augment their labor. And it's the same for graphic designers, right? We used to have a in-house graphic design specialist. Well, now there's a prompt-based graphic design that can happen. And it's not great, but it's good. You can continue to iterate until you get what you need. And then you take that to a contractor or a platform like Pixel Design and then have them spec it out. But here's the thing, it's faster, it's cheaper. It's saving you costs. These AI tools are becoming more efficient. And across the board, we are not seeing the same need for specialists as we used to. So here's the factual belief that the marketing technician is the flexible, results-oriented role your team is missing. So what is a marketing technician? Well, it's the person that works day in and day out to get the results that you need. They are leveraging the AI tools and they're doing the labor. They can work remote. Now, they can also work in-house. If that's what you want the culture that's centered around the office, they can definitely do that. I like to hire remote. I like to find passionate, eager, hungry people, bring them on board, and then train them to do great things. I like to arm them with an account with ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity. What, I'm spending $60 a month, right? And then I get output out of that marketing technician that far exceeds what I'm paying because I'm arming them with the latest model and tools. And I can get a marketing technician anywhere in the world and sometimes cheaper. And the marketing technician is working to build your company, your marketing department, your intellectual property, your systems, your processes. They can build the value for you. So if you ever need to sell, right, you'll end up with a higher valuation. Okay, false belief number 2. Now, again, start putting thumbs up if you resonates with you. You need a full-time CMO. And the fact is, you just don't anymore. So let's talk through this. A full-time CMO worth their weight in salt, and I'll just stop here a second. You certainly can get someone who calls themselves a CMO. But if they're really worth it, it's going to cost you $300,000, $250, $350, $400. It depends on, how big the company is, where you're located, what industry you're in. And then there's benefits. Say 45,000. I mean, you could do the math for this. Bonus is going to cost you 20%, the CMO is going to be looking for 20% over their salary. There could be stocks. And then, there may be some other things like office support, parking that you'll need to do the cost for that. But it's reasonable to think that it's about 300 to 600, depending on the quality of the CMO. So what does the CMO do? 20% strategy and growth, 35% administrative tasks, 30% meeting, and 15% leadership. Now, I hope something is really standing out to you here. And that's the administrative tasks, right? That should capture your attention. That's the annoying stuff, right? That's what we need to get off the plate. Ultimately, to do more of what? The real value is in providing marketing strategy and leadership. That's what you want at the end of the day. You want a CMO that's providing that marketing strategy and leadership. My question to you is, why pay for the unnecessary meeting time and administrative tasks of the CMO? Why not just have a CMO that does the marketing strategy and leadership? If you dropped all of the unnecessary work from the CMO and only had the necessary stuff, which is the marketing strategy and leadership, you probably get a lot more results. So let's talk about the fractional CMO advantage. If you were to work with me, I could work with your company, say 10 hours per week. Think of the value I could bring to your organization in just 10 hours a week. If I did my job right, everybody in the organization would think I'd be working full time. And my monthly fee starts at $5,000. So where does my time go? It's 40% marketing strategy and 60% marketing leadership. Why? Well, because we develop a strategy for the year, for the quarter, and then it's my job to drive that strategy forward. All right, let's talk about false belief number 3. Marketing is a cost center. Many companies view marketing as a cost center, leading them to constantly reduce marketing budget and constrain costs. And when they're focusing on containing costs, this often leads to underfunding critical growth opportunities. Future-ready marketing departments, they're investing in activities that drive measurable results. A traditional marketing department is going to spend 80% on personnel costs, 80%, with 20% on marketing activities. And that's where we're flipping this model. The future-ready marketing department model is spending only 20 to 30% on personnel and 70 to 80% on marketing activity. Remember, I said earlier, and this is important, the company that can afford to spend the most to acquire a customer wins. And that's really important. All right. So if you're interested in working with me, and if you want to have a conversation to see if I can help you, just book a no pressure 15-minute call on my calendar. I'll put the link in the comments. We'll discuss your business, what's working, what isn't working, and what you'd like to achieve. And I'll share if I think I can help you or the best direction for you to go in. It's really simple, a 15-minute call to see what makes sense. Just go ahead and book now. In the meantime, I'll answer any questions, and I've got one here that I'd like to pop up from Michael Willis again. In your opinion, what's the most underestimated benefit of AI in marketing? And I love this question, Michael. Thank you so much. It's an important one because it's really about the ability to unlock actionable data, insights, content from mass amounts of data in real time. And it's intense how quickly it is. And you go from being reactive to predictive. And that's a huge shift. And it creates a sustainable competitive advantage for companies out there. And they're beginning to realize how competitive they can start to be in the marketplace because of this. And so that's the biggest advantage that I can see for companies in leveraging AI. They need to lean in and start using this the more and more. Thank you for asking that question. It's really important. Any other questions out there? Please pop them in. And I really thank you for joining us today on Marketing Table Talk. This is an important conversation. We're seeing a lot of shifts in the marketing department. And again, if you want to book that time with me, I've put that into the comment section. And thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate it. Have a happy holidays. Take care.